You recently broke up with your partner and this video is made for you. I made this video because very often we have so many questions. Is it normal that I cry every single day? Is it normal that I don't know what to do, whether I should contact them, going no contact? There's so many tips online. I'm confused. What shall I do? How can I move on? Should I move on? Should I give up? And all these questions will be answered in this video. I'm going to share with you the approach as a relationship therapist. My approach, no BS approach on how you should navigate this space. Jingle.
IGetMyExBack.com. Everyone deserves a second chance.
So let's start with how we feel. I'm a therapist, so it's really about emotion, obviously. When we feel like it's impossible to wake up in the morning, you can't focus at work, crying out without any reason, you're triggered because you just have your, cup of coffee that reminds you of your ex. All those things are completely normal. It's only the symptom of the shock of losing someone, the grieving process, right? And when you have those symptoms, it's simply a sign that you need to process something. That's your body and your mind, your psyche telling you need to process something. Process anger, guilt, shock, depression. There's a range of emotions that needs to be processed. So when we're in pain, we obviously have coping mechanism strategies to try to remove this pain. And so, of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do anything about this pain. The problem is what you need to do. And the problem is most people make a huge mistake at this stage. The logic here is the pain that I'm going through right now is because of the breakup. If I want to remove this pain, the simple thing is to get back together. When we'll be back together, I won't feel the pain anymore, I won't feel the loss anymore. And therefore, if I want to get back with them, or if I want to get a sense of being with that person, I need to stay in touch with that person. I need to convince them. And this is where you make the worst mistake possible. Let me put it this way, very simply, and I put it like in a very big font, highlighted in yellow, so you can really, really remember this. Staying in touch with your ex right after the breakup will not make you feel better, right? To get back together, you need to be in touch with your ex at some stage. But right now, if what you want to do is to feel better, staying in touch with your ex won't work. Because when you stay in touch with your ex, you entertain this idea of we're in touch, but we're not together. So you have the person you love the most, but on terms that are not the ones you're after. You want to be in a relationship with them, but what they give you is not a relationship. And so this dichotomy will make you feel even worse. And being in touch with your ex will actually remind you of the loss, right? Anytime you speak with them will trigger you. Anytime you receive a message will trigger you. Anytime you send a message, you'll feel anxious, waiting for the reply. So right after a breakup, I would recommend to take your distance with your ex. So you have, let me explain very briefly, you have two brains, we have two brains. We have two brains, not only you, we have two brains. The chimp brain, the system 1 brain, Daniel Kahneman from Think Fast and Slow, the Nobel Prize, described it very well in his book. And we have the rational brain, the system 2 brain. The number one, the system 1, the chimp brain, is driven by emotion and fear. Okay, it's very primitive brain. What kept us alive in the jungle, right? Because we're not very strong and we have to run and we have to be very cautious because otherwise we get eaten by tigers and lions and stuff like that. The rational brain is the logic brain. Okay, it's the one that differentiates us from other animals. We're using logic. The problem is that the chimp brain is very, very powerful. And so there's always this conflict. Every single action you take, every single thought in your life is driven by either a sort of a conflict between chimp and rational, system 1 and system 2. The system 1, the chimp brain, is really about short-term reward. I feel angry, I feel sad, and I need to cope with that, and I'm going to binge eat, or I'm going to text my partner, right? The rational brain is the one watching this video, trying to reflect, trying to be smarter than a chimp, and understand long-term implications. So, for instance, the system 1 is really in the present. Using also past, the system 2 is more about the future. It's more about understanding that if I do that, there will be an implication. So it's about project. The system 2 is able to plan, is able to project, is able to conceptualize abstract things, such as money, for example. A chimp doesn't understand the concept of money. It doesn't work. Only humans understand what it means, the concept of money. And so the chimp brain and those sort of two voices will be like this. It's unfair, I need to fight. They took something away from me, I need to fight. I need to prove my worth. And the rational brain is like, oh, hold on. They took the decision, I need to respect the decision. Maybe they're wrong, maybe they're right, but I need to respect this. Something needs to change. Because right now, when you are protesting right after a breakup, remember that you will never ever get back with your ex if things are the same. So usually both need to change. You have to change, they need to change. The perception needs to change. Another way to look at the chimp brain is like you're reacting like a kid, right? Who we took something away from them. So you're protesting, you're crying, kids are very much, they don't have this rational part or this emotional regulation that we have as adults. And so very often we act as kids when it happens. So have a look at, I put together a guide for you to understand this in more detail, the CBT model that I use with my clients, linking thoughts, emotion, and action to really help you deconstruct those things and perhaps giving you more strength if you go no contact. And we'll discuss about no contact later on. Coping mechanism. So the bad ones is when we get drunk, use drug, stalking your ex on social media. So no contact is also about you stop following your partner. Because for me, no contact is really an approach as a therapist to help you heal and help you reflect and keep that distance from the breakup. Also eating disorder, over or under eating, isolation, keeping things to yourself, not being social, staying at home, watching Netflix. That's very dangerous. Revenge seeking obviously is not a good one. What I would say, obviously, you know all of these are wrong, right? But you might do them. The point is not to blame yourself if you find yourself like binge eating or not wanting to go to work or on Sunday waking up at noon. That's not the point. And I think very often I'm like this, some of my clients like this, and I would suggest this. Allow yourself 1 week of all in. You do whatever you want for a week. But you set yourself a deadline. You know that after a week, because that's not the life you want, you don't want to be a drunk guy, you don't want to be staying at home all your life, you don't want to be stalking your ex all your life, you don't want to be thinking about revenge all your life. Allow yourself 1 week of being unhealthy, right? And in a way, by doing that, you'll feel a little bit dirty after a week thinking like, that's not what I want, okay? And once you have this deadline, you sort of are able to adopt healthier strategy. So some people are okay to switch right away. Some people, they need a bit of a purge to really go through, hit the bottom, so they will be able to adopt healthier strategies. I'm more of that side where I feel like sometimes when I don't feel great, I'd rather go all in, I do nothing, but I know it's timely bounded. I know that in a day, in a week, I set a deadline, I will stop because that's not what I want for my life. So the good ones is about coping mechanism. It's about expressing emotion. So it's something that you can do with friends, with a therapist. It's really unpacking those things. There's a big misconception of people, because they're sad, because they're in pain, they don't want to express emotion, they keep things to themselves. And that's even worse. That's going to prolong the healing process. So talking to someone, physical activity. When you do physical activity, you release endorphin, you release dopamine, oxytocin, and that will help you feel better. Also, it will, being active, going out, doing an activity will provide a sense of fulfillment as well. Mindfulness, meditation is really about how you can calm you down your nervous system. Journaling. The journaling approach is really about what I like with the journaling approach is by writing things down, you're able to put some distance, to reflect. When you write something down, it's not anymore a chimp process, it becomes a rational process. So that's what I do with my clients on WhatsApp, we use WhatsApp as a platform for them to journal and reflect and in a way progress, because sometimes we are with our thoughts, we are on our own, we isolate ourselves, and that creates a form of rumination that prevents you from making the right decision and also moving forward. Setting goals, I think it's very important, because very often the relationship define our daily lives, right? And so we lose part of an identity. It's important for you to say, okay, in a way, now I can do whatever I want, right? And so I can set any goals that I want. And it could be baby step, it could be simple stuff. But having clarity, having a plan will also help you. Having a sort of a daily routine. You know that every Monday at 8 a.m. you have your yoga session. Every Tuesday at 10 a.m. you're going to grab coffee with a friend. Every Wednesday evening you're going to go to the pottery class or whatever. But it gives you kind of a routine and a structure, because very often that's what we need after a breakup. That's what we need when we're in pain. That's what we need when we are struggling, is a structure. It's not about discipline, it's about structure. And then it becomes easier to follow that structure. You don't have to overthink, like, what am I going to do? Because if you are left without any structure, what you're going to do is you're going to watch Netflix, you're going to drink, you're going to eat junk food, and then you're going to feel bad because you haven't really progressed and you haven't really done what needed to be done. So it's important to change your environment. As I said, now you can do whatever you want. So it's really about how you can create a better environment. What I like to do with my clients is like setting a 30-day challenge, and it could be about anything. It could be about sport, could be about hobby, could be about job, could be about learning something new, where you have, every single day you wake up and you know you're going to achieve something towards this goal. It's not about getting back with your ex, it's about you and about your journey. Because I'm pretty sure, and if you don't, it's very important for you to have, in a way, life goals, right? And again, it doesn't have to be necessarily about becoming a CEO or starting your own company. It could be really, really simple. It could be about connecting with old friends, and maybe every single week you're going to meet up with one friend. Maybe it's about networking and trying to do new networking events where you live, etc., etc. So every single day you need to find a way to feel this sense of achievement. Another very important thing for your environment is cleaning up your house. So very often, of course, when we are sad, we will tend to have all the dishes in the sink, don't do the laundry, etc. It's very important, perhaps maybe do some painting, do some spring cleaning in your house. That will also make you feel better. It's super simple. It sounds a bit cliche, but it does work, because then it will also reflect, right? The environment plays an important role in your life, because those tricks, it also makes you feel better about yourself, right? Because your environment is also a reflection of who you are. So your house is a reflection of who you are. So if your house is messy, it's a reflection of, in a way, how messy your life is. Of course, as I said, you can be 1 week without doing your laundry, 1 week without doing your dishes, but at some stage, that's not what you want for your life. So you have to clean it. You have to do it. Now, how to find motivation, because that's the principle, that's the idea. But yes, how do I find the motivation? I don't feel waking up in the morning and you're telling me to go jogging every morning. How do I do it? So these are those, again, what I'm telling you is suggestions. You pick whatever works for you, but you pick one, one of each, because that will help you go where you want to be. Accountability. That's what I do, for instance. When I want to do something, I get someone to do it with me. So if I pick a sport, I will do tennis, I will do golf. And I know that if I want to commit, I will show up because my friend is waiting for me. Accountability could be about having a coach or a therapist to help you again on those plans. Another important thing is make it easy. Anatomic Habit, have a look at this book and read this book. It's very interesting. It's about how you make healthy choices easier and toxic choices with more friction. So if I remember well in the book, there's an example. If you want to run more often, you have to set up your shoes right in front of your of your doorstep all your running gears ready when you wake up. And so when you wake up, it's kind of like very straightforward. I have all my stuff. I don't need to overthink, and I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for a jog. And what happens very often is that motivation comes after action. So even if you don't feel like going for a jogging, by putting your shoes, by running half a mile, 500 meters, I think, you will start getting into the flow and thinking, I've done it, and now I can continue. I feel always like this when I go to the gym. I don't feel necessarily like going at it. And after 5 minutes of doing my workout, I feel like, okay, I can continue for an hour or more. It's very important. You can use revenge. I don't mind if you feel that I'm gonna show my ex what he or she is losing. The body revenge, the whatever revenge, if that fuels you, I'm fine with that. Up to a certain point, obviously. Also, remind yourself you are more than just your chimp, right? An element of visualization is something that Tony Robbins is really well known for, is how you can visualize success. And he has this principle of incantation. I'm going to test something with a pilot with few clients, but it's the idea of like, perhaps in the morning, visualize how your life wants, what your life wants to be. Again, it's not about your ex. Right now, it's really not about your ex. How you visualize your life, your job, your daily routine, how you feel in the day, etc. And make it a reality, because in a way our brain doesn't differentiate what is a vision and our reality, and the way we feel and the way we sort of unfold our days. Remember, the person you are will change and need to change. So if your end goal, and again, the getting back together is a sub-goal, is an indirect consequences of what I'm describing. The pain, the emotion, the negative thoughts that you feel right now will change. Okay? It will if you take action. It will if you find the right structure to take action. So as we discussed, the accountability, finding someone to help you, finding a plan, etc. If you have the right plan, you can do it. Everybody can do it. It's not a question of strength or willpower or weaknesses. You can do it. But it implies as well a phase of no contact, because by experience, it's easier to do all those things when you're not in touch with your ex. And remember, my final word is, you are not a chimp, right? So anytime you find yourself about to do something stupid, remember this picture of this chimp. You are not a chimp. You are better than that. Bye-bye.